So first of all, thanks Seth for joining me here and taking the time to chat with me. I think we've been working together for what is it almost been a year now?
Yep, just about a year.
Take me back to before we started working together. First of all, why did you even decide to work with us in the first place? Like, what was going on back then that you were trying to solve?
Right. Yeah. So I really wanted to expand my company and build my branding. Yeah. Just trying to reach out and do that. And I just didn't have really the know how to like reach into Google ads or Meta or any kind of advertising. I don't have any kind of advertising background at all. Just really wanted to build up that part of my company. And then I also just wanted to expand everything, like add more techs, eventually add a bigger building. And that's like was the push, the beginning of everything right now would be the push right now.
Gotcha. Had you tried to do anything before you worked with us? Like, had you worked with other companies, or was this kind of the first time you decided to take a real run at expansion through advertising?
No, so we've done a few advertising companies before, some local stuff like some TV, radio commercials, never really amounted to much there.
Sure.
Like not that we could see like call volume wise, right? Or like people through the door. And then I did a billboard right on our highway, half a mile from the shop. Still didn't really like, I had a couple people be like, oh, saw your billboard. And that was about it. And then I had a couple of people approach me for like doing some Google ads. I had one guy do some stuff and I just didn't really like what was happening with it. It didn't seem like it put me in the top ranking whatsoever with Google. Like none of that stuff was really happening. Not like what I wanted to happen, right? Not like what you would expect when you pay somebody to take over your Google stuff or whatever. Definitely wasn't
Gotcha.
wasn't happening.
So basically, you jumped around. You came across us. What's your experience been like since you made the switch?
It's been really good. So like our call volume has like if you look at my calls from this time last year to now, like you can see a major increase. Like I have two office personnel. We had to add a second phone about 2 months ago because there's so many calls coming in that one phone couldn't take it. So now you just have to deny the call so it'll transfer to the next phone because our call volume is just that high. And I mean, we live in a town that has 60,000 people. It's not a big area and there's a lot of diesel shops around. Right now, the economy's been kind of up and down. We are continuously busy over everyone else. And I think it's because we have like good people in place. Like you guys, the team has always been reaching out, very helpful with everything that I've ever had questions about. Like you guys are very down to earth, like it's super easy to talk to. I've never felt like, oh, someone was like, oh, you don't understand how that works. Like, yeah, like talking down to me or anything like that. It's always been super helpful. Everything has been great with that aspect of it.
So basically, you mentioned wanting to expand. Have you achieved some of that or all of that expansion already, or where are we in that expansion process now?
Yeah, so we went from two to three techs, like bouncing back and forth, to now I have five, two people in the office, and then we just sent a service truck to Arizona 2 weeks ago. So I would
Okay.
say that like from this time, so we've added two more techs or three more techs, plus moved a service truck down to Arizona.
Now, obviously, this is a group effort, right? And like you said, like we step in to
Yep.
do our part. You have a really solid team in place over there. Do you think that without making the advertising push, it would have been possible for you to, it sounds like basically double your infrastructure in a year?
I don't think so because like we just didn't have the volume there to do it. Like, yeah, I would have wanted to, but did I have the work, to come
Sure.
in to be able to support that other income? Because no matter how you look at it, as soon as you hire someone, you've got to have the work there for them to do. You can't just hire it and hope that it happens just because you got a person in. So you got to do
Right.
your legwork first and kind of drown yourself before you jump into that next person.
So let's talk a little bit about Meta. So obviously, you were one of the first guys who jumped on our Fleet Master program to basically find a way to use Meta ads to drive business into the shop. First of all, have you ever used Meta ads before we started this?
Not at all.
What's been your experience so far since we launched these Meta ads?
Right now, I have people constantly tell me, "Oh yeah, I saw your ad on Facebook." Like everybody that I know. I mean, I had a billboard on the highway. and nobody saw it. That's what it
Right.
seemed like. Yeah. And now everyone's like, oh, yeah, I see your advertisements all the time. Like, I get buddies that text me and they're like, oh, yeah, I saw your advertisement. That's cool. Constantly. So I think everyone, like, for my branding side, besides just driving business into the shop, like, people are finding out that we're there. You know, like, a lot of times when it comes to advertising, you're just putting the thought into someone's head, like, and then as soon as they need that service, they're like, oh yeah, it's that ad that's always on Facebook. And they remember that side of it. And I think that's really what honestly we're driving for there with all those meta
Sure.
ads.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you that, branding is ultimately the best thing you can do for your business. Not only does it give you credibility, but it, like, obviously over time, it becomes its own acquisition channel. With that being said, though, are we still able to generate an ROI directly on Meta right now?
Yeah, I think we are for sure.
You mentioned a big ticket you got. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had a guy, he just contacted us through the Meta. The nice thing about that is the lead generation will pop right into my email. It also texts to my phone so I can see it. And then, like, I'll mark it on my phone and then remind the office to call first thing in the morning because it usually comes in later on in the evening, but it still pops up on our email too. So then they'll call that. And they called this gentleman and he was like, yeah, just looking for some upgrades on my truck. I've got a 2024 Ram. And I called him back and we discussed what we wanted to do and ended up selling him $20,000 worth of upgrades. He called in basically for an intake heater upgrade. Like, that's all that he really wanted to do. And then I started explaining like the cam situations and some EGR stuff and just went down the whole line with him and what he could expect out of the truck for performance if we did these upgrades. And he was like, yep, that's what I'm looking for. I pull trailers every day, all day. This is what I want to do. This truck works on a ranch and it works every single day. And we just closed that ticket out today and he was super, super happy about it.
What was the value of that ticket?
It was a little over 20,000.
It was a little over 20 grand. Okay,
Yep.
wow. And you mentioned he uses that truck on a ranch. Does he have, like, is there other diesel equipment that you feel like he may bring to you guys in the future? Is that the only vehicle or the only piece of equipment they have?
Nope. He's already said that he's going to bring his other two trucks down and then he has some tractor work that he needs us to do too. So our service truck will end up going out to his ranch as well.
I'll give you two scenarios. The first one would be like, what would you say to somebody who would say something like, that's a small customer, and they only have a few pieces of equipment? Like, we actually prefer to only work on massive fleets. What would you say to somebody like that, like in regards to these smaller fleets? Like, do you think it's still worth working with these guys, these smaller guys?
Yeah, I think that those guys are leaving a lot of money on the table, honestly. These guys that just have a couple vehicles are just as easy to deal with. You can schedule them the exact same as you can with the bigger fleets. No, there's not really an advantage. Yeah, you deal with one person, but sometimes those bigger fleets will be like, well, I don't really want to pay to have this upgrade done because we have 15 trucks that have to be worked on, where this guy will do every single upgrade or repair that you throw at him because he only has 3 trucks that he's maintaining. The whole ticket will usually get sold to a smaller fleet versus a larger fleet that'll kind of pick and choose what they want to fix right now. You know, they'll do DOT related items and safety stuff and then maybe leave out some of these other things that are honestly gravy work in our industry. And you're like, oh yeah, that'll be good. You know, it needs to have it happen, but it doesn't absolutely have to happen. That smaller fleet will pick it up.
So basically, you think having a lot of these smaller fleets is just as good as having one big fleet, basically. Possibly
Yep.
even better, right? Because you don't have key customer risk. What about payment terms? Are you extending payment terms to these smaller guys as well, or not usually?
No, I haven't been. They don't expect it. So
Yeah.
if you don't ask about it, they don't say anything and then they end up just paying right away. So you're not on
Yeah.
a net 30 or a net 60.
Yeah, like you are with most larger fleets. Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting. I do remember a small, I don't know, like, so if we want to call that a fleet that we generate for Meta, sure, $20,000 ticket sounds good. I don't know if you recall this. There was a lady who reached out to you guys through a Meta, I think it was like a month ago or something, and she scheduled some DOTs for some trailers. It was like on-site DOTs.
Mhm.
Does that
Yep.
ring a bell?
Yeah, yep, we just did those. Yeah, it was like a week ago or a week and a half ago, something like that.
What did
So,
she have in terms of equipment? Like what type of business was that?
so they do storage for tooling on construction sites. So they have trailers that basically will haul up to a bigger job where they're
Mhm.
building like a really big house or something. And they'll go up
Okay.
there and then you'll store all of your construction materials and things like that inside of them. So they have to be road legal, but they'll set on a job for like 3 months. But what that company does is they do DOTs every time before they move them. Now we have those DOTs every single time before they move that trailer.
And do you know how many trailers they have?
They have 10 right now.
10 trailers. Wow. Okay. I mean, not like that doesn't sound like a cash cow, but does sound like some decent little recurring profit and, no power units.
No power units. They usually have a guy, just like a random guy, come and grab them, and just a power unit to pull it around for them. Yeah, you say it's not really a cash cow. I think it is because that's like a recurring something that you can count on that will happen every time. And if you string enough of those together, then you have your cash cow because you're still filling those slots, right? Like the DOTs are easy. If we run up to Big Sky and we know we have 3 of those that'll come up in a month, then I can schedule some oil changes or services on some cranes in Big Sky at the same time. And then I'm not wasting a drive up there. And I still charge someone part of that drive. So that guy will go up, spend the whole day and fill his day up in Big Sky and then come back down at the end of the day. So I'm just filling slots basically just by having those people available.
So basically for Meta, we like just basically what we talked about today without even really like doing too much fleet targeting and more just targeting diesel repairs. We've just discussed two fleets that you guys are going to work with ongoing.
Yeah, and I think that there's been a lot more too, where they'll all like either the guy's interested for his personal pickup, and then he ends up like managing. There's a company that hauls like wood material just down the street from the shop, and their manager called about some doing some upgrades to his personal pickup, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys work on big trucks too. I'll just start bringing our stuff over here."
What they got?
So they have basically they're running T800s and they have between 10 and 16 units plus trailers.
So let me get this straight. So basically, the branding that you're doing with Meta got in front of this guy. And then when he called you about it, and that branding, you're trying to push performance upgrades on pickup trucks. This guy called you about his personal truck, found out you guys actually work on big trucks as well. And now you have, what'd you say, 10 to 16
Yep,
power units there that he's going to start bringing to you guys?
that's correct. Yeah, as soon as I found out who he manages Orapack, I drove over there because they're just down the street. And so I drove over there to meet him and talk with him. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, you guys should just start working on all of our other stuff."
Wow, that's really interesting feedback. Mostly just because like I know that we can generate fleet work, especially in larger in larger areas, like directly from Meta, but by targeting it, right? Like with you, we're
Yeah.
really just targeting bottom of the funnel, hey, specific types of high ticket jobs you're looking for. And it sounds like it's resulted in, I think we just talked about 3 fleets plus whatever else we haven't talked about. And I think we've only been pushing that for like a little bit less than 3 months, haven't we?
Yep. Yeah, I think,
Or a
yeah,
little bit
like,
more than 3 months, maybe 3 or 4 months.
I think we started in June.
June, July. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
couple
There you
months.
go. So
Yep.
a couple of months. Cool. Let me ask you this. What do you think we could be doing better as an agency to help you reach your goals that you're looking for?
Man, there's not like, I feel like you guys are all doing the right things in the right spots. And then it just, from there, it's just left up to the general public, right? At that point, like just waiting around for like who's going to call what. The only thing that I've had a couple people say was like, I won't call a place that's using AI to make their advertising. And I was like, well, literally everyone. And what was funny was he commented on the one that was actually me in the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, joke's on you. That's actually a person, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I think we're still kind of going through that period in the world right now where we're trying to figure out how to put in AI. And what would you say to another shop owner who might be sitting on the fence about working with Repairlift in general?
I would say like you just need to step off of that fence and get started because you're missing out on work. Like you're leaving money on the table every single day because people aren't seeing you, right? Like your shop might be tucked away around the corner, or it might be right in front and people just don't register. Like they're all in their own spot in their own zone when they're driving to work or when they're driving down the road. And where the meta ads will be like, oh yeah, I've seen that place before. And then it starts to register in their head. Like that branding is important. And this is what you guys need to be doing to have that happen.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel confident, like if you, because I know, for example, you mentioned text being a big bottleneck where you're located. Let's just say theoretically you were able to pick up a shop or you decided to in a, really populated area or something like that, where you knew you could get as many texts as you need. Do you feel confident that these marketing systems that we're putting in place, you could replicate in another area and scale up to keep your guys busy? Or do you think that you'd have some hesitation around that?
I wouldn't at all. I mean, that's like going to be the goal with the Arizona spot too, is to like just keep building from there. I mean, honestly, if I could get unlimited text, I would take over the world right now. Like, I don't feel like there would be any problem with that.
Well, yeah, man, I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much.